and then there's something called credit, যেটাকে আমরা ছোট করে বলতে পারি CR. Okay, so today we will learn, instead of writing plus কিছু একটা বেড়ে গেলে and minus কিছু একটা কমে গেলে, we will learn যে কিভাবে কিছু একটা বেড়ে গেলে or কমে গেলে it will have an effect on A, L or OE, but on the basis of DRs and CRs. So remember guys, I was telling you last class as well that in maths যখন আমরা করি, there are few formula that we know we have to memorize, which is, for example, the Pythagoras theorem. A plus B whole square has a specific formula. A square minus B square, they all have specific formula যেটার উপরে base করে then we are supposed to do those mathematical sums, right? In the world of accounting, we don't have any such formula. Rather, we have something called the rules of accounting. Okay, so today we will learn just the rules of accounting, and egula use kore, rule guloke use kore, then we will try to learn something called a journal entry. So for the time being, আমি just rule গুলাকে লিখে দিচ্ছি, and then obviously we will do an exercise together. Okay, for the time being, just take notes. Okay, যে ডেবিট এবং ক্রেডিট কখন কোথায় ডিক্রিজ বা ইনক্রিজ করলে হচ্ছে, এই পার্টটা just take notes, and once we do the exercise together, obviously life will become easier. Okay, so anytime, these are rules of accounting and the rules that will have an effect on the accounting equation, which is A, L and OE. Okay, so the rules of accounting are, if anytime anywhere you see your asset, any type of asset, যেটা current asset হোক, non-current asset হোক, doesn't matter, যখনই কোনো টাইপের asset বেড়ে যাচ্ছে, it will always go on the debit side. যদি কোনো সিচুয়েশন পড়ে মনে হয় আমার কোনো টাইপের অ্যাসেট কমে যাচ্ছে, it will go on the credit side. What will go on the credit side, কিভাবে এটা আমরা দেখাতে পারি, of course I'll show that to you, but after some time. Let me finish writing all the notes first. Okay, after assets, then we have liabilities. If anytime any type of liability increases, it will go to the credit side. If anytime any type of liability decreases, it will always go to the debit side. যখনই আমাদের কোনো সিচুয়েশন পড়ে মনে হবে ওনার্স ইকুইটি বেড়ে যাচ্ছে, always it will go to the credit side. If you feel that your owner's equity are decreasing, it will go to the debit side. Again guys, I'm just writing the rules right now, then we will obviously discuss them together. For the time being, just take notes. Egula notes now lagbe na, because later I will of course upload this online notes on Canvas, but I do want you guys to have the rules of accounting written in your copy, because as we go along, not just in an online class later, when we do a lot of exercises together, I want these rules to be in your copy. Okay, so egula to copy kore felবেন guys, and baki gulo of course we can discuss after some time. So assets, liability, owner's equity, then comes sales or revenue. যদি কখনো আমরা দেখি আমাদের sales or revenue বেড়ে যাচ্ছে, it will always go to the credit side. If we feel like our sales or revenue is decreasing, it will always go to the DR side, debit side. Okay, then we have sales or that we know that the two items that increases owner's equity are revenue or investment. So the investment or capital, we know they both mean the same thing. I'm dutai likhchi, but you know you don't have to write both. You can write either one you're comfortable with. So every time you feel that your capital or investment is increasing, it should always go to the credit side. And if you feel like your investment or capital is decreasing, it will always go to the debit side. And then remember last class we discussed the two items that decreases your owner's equity are expenses or drawings. So expenses যখন বাড়তে থাকে, it will go to the debit side. মানে খরচ যখন বাড়তে থাকে, আর যখন খরচ কমতে থাকে, it will go to the credit side. And remember, I told you that expenses and drawings, they both, yes, they both mean different things, but they have the same effect on the owner's equity. তার মানে drawings যখন বাড়তে থাকে, it will go to the debit side. When your drawings are decreasing, it will go to the credit side. Okay? Can I give you guys a minute? Just take notes for the time being. এতটুকু নোটসটা আমরা নিয়ে নেই. I want everybody to keep notes, these in your copy, because এগুলো দিয়ে আমরা অনেকগুলো exercise, we will try to do them together, okay? So make sure you're taking notes properly. Okay, guys. So to দেখি এখানে actually কি হচ্ছে. So here what we're trying to do is, again, rules of simply means these are fundamental rules of accounting. To be honest, I don't want you guys to memorize these rules, but এগুলো আসলে আমাদের মাথায় রাখতে হবে, because every time we do a journal entry, we have to refer to these rules. But to be honest, the more you practice, it automatically মনে হয়ে যাবে, because I don't want to say এগুলো অবশ্যই মুখস্থ করতে হবে. I don't want to say that. Rather, I want you guys to understand this has to be in your head all the time. But the more we practice, which we will do right now, it easily আপনাদের মনে হয়ে যাবে. So don't worry about it, okay? So first things first, we know this, that asset, liability, and owner's equity are three parts of the accounting equation. Now, if you see, the asset A is on the left hand side of the equation, and L plus OE, these are on the same side, basically right hand side of the equation. That is why, see guys, asset বেড়ে গেলে যেদিকে যাচ্ছে, because asset opposite side টা liability and owner's equity. See, asset বেড়ে গেলে যেদিকে যায়, opposite দিকে যাবে if owner's equity or liabilities are increasing. Just a way to remember. So আমরা সবসময় দেখবো যখনই কোনো টাইপের asset বেড়ে যাচ্ছে, it can be any type of asset, current, non-current, doesn't matter, it will go to the debit side. What will go to the debit side, I will show you after some time. Okay? Are because liability and owner's equity are on the opposite side of asset. That is why, see here, asset বাড়া কমাতে যা যা হচ্ছে, liability এবং owner's equity ক্ষেত্রে এটা ঠিক opposite টা হচ্ছে. Okay? Now, remember last class we discussed the two items that increases owner's equity are sales and capital. So that is why, see, sales বেড়ে যাওয়া আর owner's equity বেড়ে যাওয়া, they both mean the same thing. That's why they're both going on the debit side, on the credit side. Similarly, investment বেড়ে যাওয়া and owner's equity বেড়ে যাওয়া, they also mean the same thing. That is why এই দুটোই কিন্তু বেড়ে গেলে same side, credit side এ যাচ্ছে. On the other hand, we know that expenses and drawings, even though they have the different meaning, but তাদের কিন্তু effect on owner's equity exactly the same. That is why তাদের কিন্তু terms গুলো same. দেখেন, expense বেড়ে গেলেও debit side এ যায়, drawings বেড়ে গেলেও debit side এ যায়. Expense কমে গেলে it goes to the credit side. If drawings decreases, it will also go to the credit side. Okay, so basically আমি চাচ্ছি as we go along and practice the journal entry together, this thing, these rules of accounting should be absolutely ingrained into your brain, because the more you practice it automatically মনে হয়ে যাবে. All right, now the second thing I would like to discuss, is that এগুলো ইউজ করে যখন আমরা জার্নাল এন্ট্রি করব, remember we did the concept of dual effect. So dual effect in journal writing actually means dr should be equal to cr, which means every single time we are writing a journal entry, dual effect মানে হচ্ছে এই জিনিসটা, যে ডেবিট সাইডে কিছু একটা আমরা লিখলে definitely we have to write something on the credit side, so that the value on the dr and the value on the cr is always going to match. সিমিলার হবে সব, এমন কখনোই হবে না যে আমরা দুইটা জিনিস ডেবিট সাইডে লিখলাম কিন্তু ক্রেডিট সাইডে কিছুই লিখি নাই, এটা কখনোই হবে না। অর আমরা ডেবিট সাইডে ক্রেডিট সাইডে অনেক কিছু লিখে রেখেছি, ডেবিট সাইডে কিছু লিখি নাই, এটা কখনোই হতে পারবে না। So every time we are writing a journal entry using the transaction, 100% it will be the case that if something is written on the debit side, something will also definitely go on the credit side. Okay, guys? Now, having said that, I think we are ready to kind of do an exercise together. So, একটু পড়ে দেখি, okay, আগে তারপরে দেখি বুঝি নাকি আমরা। By the way, guys, the chapter 2 slides are already uploaded on Canvas. Can I request everybody to take out the slides, because আমি তো বারবার যে screen change করতে থাকি, so I cannot keep the slides open. So if you have the slides open with you, just it will be easier for you guys to refer to the question, okay? So can you guys kindly take out the slides from chapter 2 and go to slide number 17. This slide, it just steps in the recording journalizing. এটা এখন করার চেষ্টা করবো আমরা, okay? Okay. Now, to keep over poly, guys, we will just first let's try to do what we did in chapter 1, which is we will try to read a transaction and then we will try to see how that affects the accounting equation. Basically, the tabular analysis that we did in chapter 1. Then I will show you how to do the journal entry. All right, let's see. On September 1, guys, can you all see the screen that I'm trying to share?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. All right, let's do this together. On September 1, Ray Neal invested 15,000 cash in the business. Let's stop here. Bakita pore pori. Now, remember last class I told you, every time you read a transaction, you should always think from the company perspective, and company perspective থেকে আমরা চিন্তা করব, number 1. Number 2, every time in any transaction you read the word invested, investment, capital, investing, invest related কোনো word দেখলে, first thing you will know there is an effect on the owner's equity. Please someone tell me if they remember, does investment increase or decrease owner's equity?
Increase.
Increases.
Increase.
Thank you very, very much. Excellent. You guys remember. I love that. So first things first, it exercise একটা করি যদি। First things first, I would like to do the tabular analysis, which is something we did for chapter 1. So here we will write our asset, then we will say equals to L plus OE. All right. So first, as you guys said, from this transaction, we can say that because we have invested money, which means our owner's equity is increasing. So dual effect, prothom effect porbe, that our owner's equity is going to increase by how much? $15,000. $15,000 আর বেড়েছে, কেন বেড়েছে? because we made an investment. এটা আমি just লিখে রাখছি so that we can do the discussion later, okay? We have done an investment. So from here, one effect will go to the owner's equity from this transaction. Where do you think the other effect should be?
In cash.
Thank you, Miss. 100% right. Definitely, the other effect is going to be in cash because remember, I told you we always think from the company perspective. So, আমি যদি কোম্পানিতে টাকা ইনভেস্ট করি, company cash is going to increase, and we definitely know that cash is a kind of asset. And আমরা তো জানি অনেক টাইপের অ্যাসেট থাকতে পারে একটা কোম্পানিতে, but in this case, which type of asset is increasing? Cash, cash, cash. 100% right. Okay. Does anybody have any question of whatever I discussed so far? The tabular analysis. Okay, now from here we will try to write the journal entry. Now remember, in the journal entry, we will always do this. Dual effect, আর dual effect মানে এখানে বোঝাতে চাচ্ছে, if you write something on the DR, you also have to write something on the CR. Okay, and to notes লিখে দিই. Whenever you are writing journal entry, debit value will be written first, and then in the second line you will write the credit value. This is the format of writing the journal entry. Of course, I'll show you how to do it, but let's read it together first. Okay, super important এই পার্টটা, that যখনই আমরা একটা জার্নাল লেখার ট্রাই করব, প্রথমে আমরা সবসময় লিখব the debit value, কিভাবে আমি দেখাচ্ছি, and after writing the debit value in the second line, then we will write the credit value. But how to do that, I'm going to show you right now, okay? So let's try to do one together, guys. One journal entry. So the first thing you will try to do is we will try to write the date first, okay? So when is this transaction occurring? In September 1. So first we will write September 1. And then প্রথমে আমরা লিখব debit value, then we will write the credit value. Now let's go back to the tabular analysis that we did here. Here, can I say the type of asset my company te bere jacche is cash. Now let's go to our tabular analysis, sorry, the rules of accounting that we wrote. What happens when asset increases? Does it go to the debit side or credit side?
Debit side.
Asset
Debit.
Thank you, Miss. Asset bere gele always it will be on the debit side. However, you cannot write asset debit because, as you know, a company can have many types of assets. এখানে আমার কোন টাইপের অ্যাসেটটা বেড়ে যাচ্ছে?
Cash.
Cash. Very good. That's why what you will do is প্রথমে আমরা ডেট লিখবো, তারপর একটা স্পেস দিয়ে we will write the name of the asset that is increasing. In this case, because cash is increasing, we are going to write cash on the debit side. Cash, we're going to write cash লেখার পর একটা স্পেস দিব, দিয়ে তারপর just লিখবো DR. You don't have to write the whole word debit, DEBIT, debit every single time. Just DR লিখলেই হবে. DR লেখার পর আবার space, and then you will write the amount of cash that you received, which is $15,000 in this case. Okay? তারপরে কি করব দেখি, in the second line মানে পরের সেন্টেন্সে we are going to write the credit value. Now let's see what the credit value is going to be. We know that owner's equity বেড়ে গিয়েছে, that's why we wrote 15,000 under owner's equity. But we also know that there are two reasons why your owner's equity can increase. Either it can be investment or sales. In this case, can I say our owner's equity বেড়ে গিয়েছে because of investment, guys?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so now let's see the note, the rules of accounting. Here লেখা আছে, every time our company investment বাড়তে থাকে, which side does it go to? The CR side, the credit side. So that is why এটার নিচের সেন্টেন্স আমরা যাব, আমরা এই সেম মার্জিনে লিখবো না গাইস, একটু ইন্ডেন্ট করে। ইন্ডেন্ট মানে কি, একটু সেকেন্ড প্যারাগ্রাফ থেকে বেসিক্যালি ইন্ডেন্ট করে second margin থেকে we will write the credit value, and the credit value is going to be investment or capital, because this is the reason why owner's equity has increased. Please understand, you cannot write owner's equity on the credit side, because owner's equity বেড়ে যাওয়ার তো actually দুইটা reason আছে, either sales or investment. So you specifically have to show that investment or capital is the reason why the $15,000 has been increased into the owner's equity. That is why এখানে যেহেতু আমরা জানি যে ইনভেস্টমেন্ট বেড়ে গেলে ক্রেডিট সাইডে যায়, সো আমরা নিচের সেন্টেন্স একটু পরের থেকে মানে ইনডেন্ট করে লিখবো ইনভেস্টমেন্ট অর ক্যাপিটাল। সবসময় দুটো লেখার দরকার নেই, ইফ ইউ ওয়ান্ট ইউ ক্যান রাইট either one you want. আমি এখন দুটো লিখে দিলাম, বাট ইন দি এক্সাম ইউ ক্যান রাইট ইদার ওয়ে ইউর কমফোর্টেবল উইথ। এটার পর আবার সেম জিনিস করব, স্পেস দিব, সিআর লিখবো, আবার স্পেস দিব, then we will write the amount which is $15,000. I'll give you guys a minute. I know আমি অনেক কিছু বলে ফেলেছি. Can you guys kindly look into the solution here? Look into the rules of thumb of accounting যেগুলো আমি লিখে দিয়েছি. Read the transaction and please tell me if you have any confusion so far that I can answer. Please make sure guys you're sharing your thoughts with me, because I cannot see you guys. So I'm giving you some time. Any confusion, share it with me.
হ্যালো, ম্যামের নেট চলে গেছে না আমার? হ্যালো হ্যালো,
ম্যামের নেট চলে গেছে, ছুটি।
আলহামদুলিল্লাহ।
হ্যাঁ, ম্যাম আছে তো, ম্যামের কথা সব শোনা যাচ্ছে।
Hello, sorry guys, I think I lost my connection. Let me just reshare my screen. Okay, can you all see the screen, guys? I'm trying to share.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, okay. So as I was saying, take a minute, read through the transaction again. And by the way, এগুলা কিন্তু সবগুলোই notes. The journal entry is only this part, the journal writing. So if you have understood whatever is happening here, if not, I will be very happy to share again. Just to add one more thing, guys, remember I was telling you about the dual effect. See here, in this transaction you wrote one item on the debit side and one item on the credit side, which makes both sides exactly equal. Every single time it's going to be the same case, that whenever you're writing a journal entry, something will go on the debit side and then something will definitely go on the credit side, so that the dr and the crs are matching. Okay, guys, so I'll give you guys a minute. Please go through this and ask me if you have any confusion so far. Okay, if you guys don't have any questions, should we? Okay, এখানে তো হাফটা পড়েছি, এখন পুরোটা পড়ে দেখি। Rainil invested $15,000 cash in the business, so we are done with this part. Second part বলা আছে, and SoftBite purchased computer equipment for 7,000 cash. Let's assume this is the name of our company. So আমাদের company perspective থেকে আমরা ট্রানজাকশনটা পড়ার চেষ্টা করব. So SoftBite, which is the name of our company, আজকে আমরা নতুন একটা কম্পিউটার কিনেছি. And how did we pay for this computer? With $7,000 cash. Now remember last class we discussed the concept of asset, which basically means যখনই কোনো একটা item আপনারকে or আপনার কোম্পানিকে will give you some sort of benefit today and in the future, they are